Colin,
Yeah.
what's your topic?
We've
beaten the Independence Day horse to death.
I can beat it for hours.
We could have gone on for 30.
So similar to Independence Day. So I was reading, one of my favorite things to read about, I like to read about astronomy, I like to read about space. Yesterday I revisited one of an old kind of favorite of mine, which is something called the Fermi paradox. And I wanted to present this to you guys and then see what you think the solutions are to the Fermi paradox, okay? So the Fermi paradox, the idea of the Fermi paradox, and I'm reading Wikipedia just to make it easier or whatever. So the Fermi paradox, named after Enrico Fermi, who was a
Fermilab, what up? Batavia, Illinois.
Is the apparent contradiction between the lack of evidence and high probability estimates, e.g. those given by the Drake equation, which is another thing I'll talk about in a second, for the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations. The basic points of the argument made by physicists Enrico Fermi and Michael Hart are: there are billions of stars in the galaxy that are similar to the sun, and many of which are billions of years older than Earth. With high probability, some of these stars will have Earth-like planets, and if the Earth is typical, some might develop intelligent life. Some of these civilizations might develop interstellar travel, a step that Earth is now investigating. Even at the slow pace of currently envisioned interstellar travel, the Milky Way galaxy could be completely traversed in about 1 million years. According to this line of thinking, the Earth should have already been visited by extraterrestrial aliens. In an informal conversation, Fermi noted no convincing evidence of this, leading him to ask, where is everybody? There have been many attempts to explain the Fermi paradox, primarily suggesting either that intelligent extraterrestrial life is extremely rare, or proposing reasons that such civilizations have not contacted or visited Earth. So they mentioned something called the Drake equation. The Drake equation is another thing where someone, I think a Harvard mathematician, tried to figure out the likelihood of how much intelligent life's in the galaxy using like, and there's no way to have really a number, a real number basically, because some of the factors that they have to use are just unknown. So the Drake equation, I'll just read it to you real quick. So you have.
Can I take a guess as to what the Drake equation is?
Sure.
If we all start from the bottom and work real hard, we can now be here.
Right.
I mean, you should be like
that's
X.
Good.
I'm so mad. I was trying to Google it fast enough, but there's that one Rihanna song where Drake has the equation for the square root of whatever. Anyway,
Sorry,
so the number of civilizations in our galaxy which communication would be possible is what equals the average rate of star formation times the fraction of those stars that have planets times the average number of planets that can potentially support life times the fraction of planets that can support life that actually develop life times the fraction of planets with life that will go on to develop intelligent life times the fraction of civilizations that develop a technology that release detectable signs of their existence times the length of time for which civilizations release detectable signals into space. And people come up with numbers that are anywhere from like 1 or less than 1 to 100,000, right, in the galaxy. So there are some people that think like life is so rare that it is likely less than one intelligent civilization per galaxy, which is billions of stars. So I tell you that to bring you back into this thing here. So basically you get the idea.
Okay.
The Fermi paradox is the idea that if alien life is so common as we so think, then why haven't they come and visited us?
Right.
Why wouldn't they be here? Certainly they would know we were here. So here are the explanations, and I want you guys to tell me what you think if these explanations are good or bad, and what you think the explanation might be why we haven't been contacted with aliens. We're all equally laymen in this. None of us are physicists, so it doesn't matter.
Kevin, are you a physicist? No, he's not.
No, he's in a sugar coma from that whoopie pie you gave him.
I did give him whoopie pie.
So here's and this is all from Wikipedia again, so you guys can go read about it if you want. So the first one is the rare Earth hypothesis. And the rare Earth hypothesis, it says, those who think that intelligent extraterrestrial life is nearly impossible argue that the conditions needed for the evolution of life are rare or even unique to Earth. Under this assumption called the rare Earth hypothesis, a rejection of the mediocrity principle, which basically says that Earth is not special. Complex multicellular life is regarded as exceedingly unusual. So do you think that that's a valid explanation? That, in other words, we might be the only intelligent species in the whole galaxy.
I don't think so.
No, it's dumb.
Yeah, I was gonna say run through them all. Run through because then we'll weigh in on what we.
All right,
like.
so no other intelligent species have arisen in the galaxy, and we're talking about interstellar travel, not intergalactic travel, which is probably maybe impossible, but maybe a species.
So you're talking about in the Milky Way,
right?
Okay.
That's always. I mean, even in Mass Effect, for instance, which is like considered like real sci-fi or like grounded sci-fi, like they have no prayer of leaving the galaxy. That's why Andromeda is so big, because they do go. So no other intelligent species has arisen. It is possible that even complex life is common. Intelligence is not. While there are remote sensing techniques that could perhaps detect life-bearing planets without relying on the signs of technology, none of them has any ability to tell if detected life is intelligent. This is sometimes referred to as the algae versus aluminate problem. So the idea of like algae versus metal, like you're using aluminum. Intelligent, I think that's what it means. Intelligent alien species lack advanced technology. It may be that while alien species with intelligence exist, they are primitive or have not reached the level of technological advancement necessary to communicate.
It's like us.
Well, we can communicate.
Yeah, we're
send radio
beaming signals out into space.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing it intentionally, but they can detect. That's what contact is all about.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Olympics, right? The whatever.
Carl Sagan's Contact is about how alien species received the first television signals we send out, which is Hitler at the 1932 Berlin Games. And
Bad choice for us.
And they beam
not a good look.
They don't have any idea what it is, but they beam it back with all this math encrypted in it, and that's how they communicate with us.
They put the Drake equation.
By the way, Contact is fucking awesome.
Contact is awesome.
The book's great, and the movie's also great. Jodie Foster.
Matthew McConaughey.
It is the nature of intelligent life to destroy itself. There's another option. This is the argument that technological civilizations may usually or invariably destroy themselves before or shortly after developing radio or spaceflight technology. It is the nature of intelligent life to destroy others. Another hypothesis is that an intelligent species at a certain point of technological capability will destroy other intelligent species as they appear. The idea that something or someone might be destroying intelligent life in the universe has been explored in the scientific literature. That's what Mass Effect's all about. This is called the technological singularity. Periodic extinction by natural events. So nothing evolves long enough before something cataclysmic happens, like what happened to the dinosaurs.
Right.
Inflation hypothesis and the youngness argument. Cosmologist Alan Guth proposed a multiverse solution to the Fermi paradox. This hypothesis uses the synchronous gauge probability distribution that young universes exceedingly outnumber older ones. Therefore, averaged over all universes with civilizations will almost only have just one, the first to develop. So this is like a weird kind of metaphysical thing, assuming that we have multiple dimensions. Intelligent civilizations are too far apart in space or time. This is the one I think is the reason, personally. It may be that non-colonizing technologically capable alien civilizations exist, but that they are simply too far apart for meaningful two-way communication. It is too expensive to spread physically throughout the galaxy, so it's just not a practical thing to do.
Right.
So aliens might know we're here, but there is no reason for them to contact
They're
us
just
at
like,
all.
no, it's not worth it.
Human beings have not existed long enough. This is another one I think is possible. And this is a really big one. So, because it says humanity's ability to detect intelligent life has existed for only a very brief period from 1937 onwards. So that's what you mentioned, the radio telescope,
right?
Which is, I think, one of the things that's huge. Humans are not listening properly. This is another thing that's possible, that the alien life is so different and distinct to us that we don't know that they're actually trying to get in contact with us, or they're maybe even here. Civilizations broadcast detectable radio signals only for a brief period of time, which is what we've been doing. So they would have to be listening to our planet for the last 60 years to know we're here. So why wouldn't it be the other way around as well?
Right.
They tend to isolate themselves. I think this is another possible one. And this goes into like virtual environments and all that kind of stuff about how like the aliens might be so advanced that this is all simulation, which is something that Elon Musk talks about. They are too alien. We simply don't know how to identify them at all.
Right.
Everyone is listening. No one is transmitting. So the idea that everyone's listening for each other, but no one's actually trying to pulse out information about their own whereabouts, mostly because it's dangerous.
Except for
this
us.
is something Stephen Hawking.
Except for us.
Yeah, except
we're
for
the
us.
only dipshits that do that.
Well, we're not doing it intentionally. Though.
Here's Hitler.
We're doing it by the nature of our broadcast, but we're not beaming shit into space. And this is something that has actually been talked about in the past. And people like Stephen Hawking often talk about how you don't want to let anyone know you're here.
Yeah, it'd be a bad idea.
We are sending out the...
Get on the microphone. Come on. We bought the microphone for you. You lean back. You're half asleep.
I told you I wanted one with a button. This is too hard. But yeah,
you literally hit a button to turn it on.
You know what I meant.
Pretty soon we'll take his legs and just put wheels instead.
Oh my God.
You just put a chair in.
We
instead.
did send out that satellite with the discs on them. So we are, attempting.
Oh, well, that's in case anyone finds them. We intentionally don't send out signals about where we are, like beam it out in space. We can send it in every direction in the galaxy,
right?
If we wanted to. And then they go into things like, the zoo hypothesis, which is something we were talking about at the table before, which is the idea that the aliens know we're here and that they leave us alone because we're not ready.
Right.
We ain't ready.
And then there's the
they
danger
just watch
to communicate.
Resurgence, they're like, no.
They are here undetected. They are here unacknowledged. And that's basically it. So out of those various options, and there are many, so I don't expect you to remember them all. What do you think are the options? So I don't think the rare Earth hypothesis, for instance, I think that's bullshit. There's no way, just based on math. And this is where the Drake equation comes into play.
Right.
I do think that, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, because we're all we're not astrophysicists, so we have no insight into this at all. I do think that the most logical thing is that we are young, so we haven't been listening long enough, and that we are far apart.
Yeah, I think that's more of it. I think when you start talking about aliens, you jump to flying saucers and the intergalactic spaceships that's 300 million miles wide or whatever. And I think more than likely it would be that they're, if not less than us, just a little bit more than us. I don't know if I believe in like they're fucking teleporting around and doing all this and they have the technology and the ability to get here. I think I do think they're out there for sure. I just don't think that they're that much advanced. I mean, we're talking about like, like in that, the thing you just read or whatever. It's like, oh, well, in the next million years, we should have intergalactic travel down or what interstellar travel down or whatever. Well, I mean, that's a long time. Even if we're a million years out, maybe they're 500,000 years out, but they're still 500,000 years out. I think it is a time thing, that we just haven't been out there. And I think that there's not as far along either.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think even when you look at just Earth, right, there's humans and there's all these animals and stuff. Like there's a whole bunch of different shit going on. We know there's a whole bunch of other planets, even in this galaxy, outside of this galaxy, whatever. It's like, it'd be ridiculous for the rare Earth thing to be accurate. Like that just doesn't check out in my mind. I don't understand how the fuck humans exist. I don't understand how the fuck animals exist, why things are all different, whatever. They're there. I can't argue that. So it's like someone would ask me, do I think aliens are there? Absolutely. They have to be. There's a whole bunch of different planets. They're probably chilling. And they're probably in similar places like we are, where it's like they can't talk to us. I don't know which one that falls under.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them that are that way. I agree with you because this is the thing, the rare Earth hypothesis, which is interesting. There's a whole book about it. I can't remember the name of it. Is the idea that there might be Earths, but like Earth like planets in that Goldilocks zone they call it, which is like nearer to the sun. It's the idea of life as we know it, which I fucking hate because I think we make assumptions about what life is. It's just what some of these things talk about. Like it breathes oxygen, it drinks water, it's carbon based. I'm sure that there's life out there that doesn't do any of that. That has nothing to do with amino acids, doesn't have the DNA structure we have and all those kinds of things. And I think that's the argument they're saying is that like, since we know only life as we know it, it has to have these like 100 things go right. And that's just not probable, and it's probable to the extent of less than one per galaxy, which still means that there are millions of civilizations, by the way. But we have no prayer of getting in touch with them at all. And they don't know we're here when we don't know they're there. So I don't know. Nick?
Either we're too far away or they've been here and don't care.
They've been here already.
Yeah. Either we've already made some sort of contact. They know we're here. They've been here a little bit. Maybe popped down and did a couple anal probes. And we're like, these aren't tight enough. And they go back up.
These aren't tight enough.
You know what I mean? There are people. There's a lot of people who maybe for whatever reason have reported seeing some sort of alien being. Right? Maybe it's all conspiracy theory. Maybe it's just delusions based on fear. What your brain does to you when you're super scared. But I would not be surprised if they're like, we came, we saw, it's not that great.
Yeah.
We left.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the other thing too. This goes with some of the other ones. I don't remember which one exactly, but it's like, we have no idea what they are, or how they look, or what is even, it could be just some wind thing, but they're alive. They can see each other.
Right.
We don't fucking know. Cause it's like, who the hell knows? Cause it's alien shit. So they could be here. They could have been here and left, or they could be here next week and leave us alone. And we have no idea. It's like when we're talking about life and stuff, like what does qualify as life? Because if you start making it like what is human like, that's very different, because what if there is cougars and shit somewhere else, but those cougars are hella smart.
Oh, there's cougars.
What would you do, Greg, if you landed on an alien planet and it was just a civilization of porties who were like,
can I communicate?
He's here.
I'd be stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call you the keeper, the master.
Sure.
Either of them, whichever one you prefer.
Was it like Planet of the Apes where I'm like the dog?
No. They for the longest time it's just been a group of like highly advanced wiener dogs who have been without a leader, and they all have to pee really badly because someone hasn't been there to take them out in a while. And you come in, they're like, "Thank God you're here. I've had to pee for the last millennium. Like you need to come take me out."
You make a lot of jokes about this, but Colin will back me up. There's a lot of theories that dogs are aliens.
I've never heard that theory before.
I wanted to present Fermi paradox.
They look like they're aliens, though. Look at them little fuckers.
They do. Lola looks like an alien. She looks like Yoda. I wanted to present this simply because I feel like we get caught into this in these earthly kind of things, these small questions, these small ideas that are relevant to us on a daily basis. We were talking about the Brexit and all this kind of stuff. I mean, these are important things, but the only philosophical, like, existential intellectual question that ultimately matters, I think, is like, are we alone? Yeah, like I really do believe like there's so much knowledge and information out there that we don't understand and don't know. And I think I think that I like that people, even if Fermi paradox basically suggests that life isn't common, that it's an idea worth thinking about, because I do believe that there are intelligent species out there having the same fucking conversation in their own way.
I think why are we here is more important than that. Because like we know we're here, we don't know if something else is there.
We think we're here. Could be a simulation.
I guess you're right. Could be a simulation thing. Someone's been watching a bit too much, some media entertainment.
The Matrix goes into that, all that kind of stuff. But there are big minds out there that really do believe that like there's something fucked up about our reality, you know? And it's like one of those cool things that you like really think about where you don't know, like what's real is what you see, but you don't know it's real and you don't know who's watching. You don't know if it was programmed. You don't know if it's like, what?
No, I mean,
I'm just happy that Kevin's real as I look over to him and like he looks like he can't tell if he wants to sleep or not. Like his eyes, I can't even say they're half open. It was
it's like when
they're
Portillo,
fourth
you know,
open.
Portillo needs to go to sleep, but
Yeah,
he wants to stay up with
He
you.
knocks and he comes
He
back.
has FOMO.
That's, I mean, that again, going back to the prior topic, that was one of the cooler things that I thought was explored in Independence Day was that there was a civilization that had gotten so advanced that they were just all machines, like all digital, like their consciousness had just been uploaded and they were one being, which I thought was really, really cool, and which a lot of people theorize is our eventual, you know, that's the path that we'll eventually be on. Yeah,
Like that Johnny Depp movie.
which yeah.
Transcendence. Yeah.
I ever
that
saw
movie
that.
sucked too.
But yeah, the idea that we will, you know, eventually converge with the machine, or that we are here just to make the next life form, which is the machine, is a very fascinating concept and one that we are well on our way toward exploring.
Right, because that's why I think that why we are here is not in my opinion, not the more important question, because we will realize that there is no reason why we're here if we find intelligent life. Then there's no reason. You know, and that's like why I think that question supersedes almost everything, and that's why I think that like knowledge can be gained, and the suggestion in a sci-fi way that intelligence is like hyper intelligence and all these breakthroughs are garnered from contact with these different species, which is what happens in Independence Day resurgence, but not in a very clever way. You know, that like you just need certain breakthroughs in physics and understanding and time travel or not time travel, but just traveling through space and wormholes and all that kind of stuff to get around, and then you have the answers. That's what happens to humanity in Mass Effect, and they find the mass relays, and that changes everything. They suddenly have access to incredible information they never had before because they can travel. So it's just an interesting question. I still really hope that we figure this out one day. I said this before. What I think is going to happen is that we are going to find evidence, conclusive evidence of life on another planet or intelligent life somewhere, and we're not going to be able to do a damn thing about it.
Yeah, we're going to see a Dyson sphere and be like, well, one day,
like we know it's there.
if we can see them,
and then we
have a Dyson sphere, they can see us.
Yeah.
They know we're here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then like the idea that they're 600 light years away, so we send a message, they don't get it for 600 years.
I mean,
There's
they could
nothing we can do about
literally
it.
be like, oh, we've got such technology, we have this Dyson sphere. Let's just focus the energy from our sun toward them and fucking fry that planet for no reason. It'll be fun. Let's watch.
We'll make a moon base. It'll unify us. We already saw this in
Yeah, we need a
Independence Day
unifying
Resurgence.
moon base. By the way, I was reading about that Dyson sphere star again yesterday.
Oh, what do we got?
What was the conclusion on that?
They still don't know. They don't know. They have all these
50 years before they're like, it was just the thing on the fucking, it was a speck.
They have all these theories. They have all these theories
I
that
figured it
it's-
out, guys.
they think it might be a young star, and so it's still the planets are still coalescing around it, so it's causing like all of this.
But wasn't it really, really like,
Sexy.
no, not sexy. It was, yeah, very hot. Just tie it like a nubile 16-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, no, didn't they say it was like symmetrical though? Like it was really symmetrical.
It seems it.
Yeah.
So one of the I was reading about yesterday, and they have theories about comet dust and planet formation, all that kind of stuff. And one of the real theories is that it's a Dyson swarm or a Dyson sphere.
That's awesome.
Crazy.